Hi there. Today I'm pruning the Mahonia, the Oregon grape, a quince, as well as these pesky blackberries that keep growing through our bushes. Um, so basically, I'm just cutting them down to the ground and getting them out of the equation altogether, and hopefully they don't grow back, which is probably asking for too much already. So. With these Mahonia, the Oregon grape, I'm going to relatively cut them pretty hard. Take out all these old canes here, or at least the ones that are pretty thick in diameter. At least I'm going to trim them back so that way new growth can grow off of them. I'm going to do some heading cuts and selective heading cuts and thinning cuts. It'd be nice to be able to capture all this fruit that's being formed on the end of these branches, but at this point, this bush is way too big. It's obstructing our parking spaces, and we can still use a majority of the plant, the bark, for other things that have medicinal properties. The next we have is the quince here, and basically what I'm going to do is do some inside thinning cuts. I'm going to try to stay away from these new buds forming. There's forming new fruits on some of these branches. We're going to stay away from them. We don't want to touch those at all. The fruit is part of the beauty of the plant. After that, we'll probably do some heading cuts on branches that don't have buds forming on them and thin it out so that way there's more airflow. And of course, to take back all this Mahonia so that way it's not overcrowding this and basically shading it. Yeah, looking forward to seeing. All right, so here's the end result of both the Mahonia aquifolium and the quince. I'm not sure of the botanical name on that. Took out this much growth from it, mainly old growth. Not a lot of it has buds or fruit forming on it, but it's a lot of old, diseased, and broke stuff, damaged stuff. Also, this area to the right, is the parking space, so I wanted to clear this up. This actually, I don't know if you can tell from the other video, but it actually came out to about right here, and you could easily scratch your car up against that. So I pruned that back, took out the water sprouts that were going straight up. Not a lot of them had any kind of bud or forming fruit on them. I stayed away from all the buds and forming fruit. And then after this video, I'm going to go through and clear up the bottom and get all the trash and the existing fruit out of the way, so it has plenty of clear space under there. I also thinned out some of the inside of the plant so that way there's more airflow and room to grow. It was really thick, a lot of deranged branches that were going zigzagged, and it didn't make a lot of sense, so I took those guys out. I left the existing fruit on the branches because I'm assuming the fruit will grow there again, so maybe I can knock those nasty fruit off and leave the branches, and they might form again. There was a little bit of disease. It looked like a fungus of sorts. I'm not exactly sure what it was. Now that I look at it, there's a little bit more damaged stuff right there I could take out. So it's a work in progress. But essentially, that's what I did for the purpose of thinning it out getting more airflow, getting away from cars, and taking out the 3Ds, and as well as the deranged branches that were not making a lot of sense. Also, the Mahonia, I had cut back portions of this Mahonia pretty hard. It was going into the driveway parking area, so I took out the dead and the damaged and the diseased, and the deranged, which there's a lot of. So if I took out a lot of that, it would essentially not be anything, which from what I understand is its habit is it has a lot of deranged things that come out, so I'm not too worried about that. Try to avoid the fruit on there, as well as getting rid of these branches that weep outwards, that were reaching for the sunlight, and there was technically 3 plants if you want to count the blackberry that was growing through the middle. I took out a lot of that, took it straight to the ground. Don't want it. All right, so that's essentially it.